Well, voters all around the country resoundingly rejecting progressive agendas on the ballot. Far-left gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum losing his bid for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, backed by President Trump. So what do these results say about where Americans stand on far-left policy? Republican strategist who served as an advisor to Jeb Bush, Justin Sayfie, joins me live now to talk more about this. Good morning to you, the day after.
Good morning.
What a day it was. Let's begin with that race. Let's begin with the Florida governor race and your thoughts on that. DeSantis defeating Gillum.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, most of the polls were showing that Andrew Gillum was ahead, and remarkably, people on the ground saw the energy that was there when President Trump came to Florida several times to campaign for DeSantis. And, look, Andrew Gillum was endorsed during the primary by Bernie Sanders. Barack Obama was here in Miami last week. Hillary Clinton came down here. He was backed by liberal billionaires George Soros and Tom Steyer. So he was really a darling and a dream for the progressive left.
And P. Diddy.
And I know a lot of them were shocked that he lost last night.
Yeah. Even though he did have his own headaches, he had to talk about the FBI probe and all of that. Let's talk about Rick Scott, though, defeating Nelson in the race for Senate. Did that surprise you?
Well, again, a lot of these polls were showing that Nelson was ahead. But you know what? Governor Rick Scott has done such a really good job. He's been a governor for 8 years. The economy's doing well here. He managed Florida through several hurricanes, including Hurricane Irma last year and Hurricane Michael this year. So for those of us who know the record that he's accomplished, it wasn't a surprise. But, a lot of the mainstream news media here in Florida and with the pollsters were showing that Rick Scott was going to lose. So it was somewhat of a surprise.
Yeah, and I know one of the things that President Trump came out and he talked about in terms of hurricane recovery that you were just mentioning, he said he was hearing from Governor Rick Scott all the time to make sure that his state was going to be okay. He did not hear from Senator Nelson in terms of that. So that's what the president said, President Trump. Let's move to Texas. Let's move to Texas, though, now. Sorry, I got to get a lot in here. A lot of money spent by Beto O'Rourke, $70 million in just the last quarter, but he lost to Ted Cruz.
Again, this is one of those examples where Beto O'Rourke raised all this money, so much money on the internet. Progressives, left-wing activists from around the country poured money into his campaign through the internet. So, that was almost like he was running a national campaign. But what matters at the end of the day, and we see this in Florida and we see this in Texas, is the voters of the state are what matters most. And if a candidate is raising all that money off the internet from, L.A. and New York and Boston, that's not necessarily going to translate into a victory in Austin and Dallas and San Antonio and El Paso.
And just quickly, because we are out of town, but we showed the graphic there on what's going on for the governor's race in Georgia. Heavy hitters headed to that state to support Abrams. Does not appear to have worked there either.
Same thing. There's all politics is local, and that Georgia race is another example of that. All politics is local. Having national celebrity endorsements doesn't win you a race in some of these states. Yeah,
the Oprah bump did not work as well as the Trump bump, apparently. All right. Thank you so much, Justin. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Well,
you too.
We will be right back. That was a lot. Whew.